understands that he is about to tell you a story that is either upsetting or horrifying or both, which isn't fair, because you are a son and not a therapist. Your father is a dark, sturdy man, and so unlike you that as a child you were sure that one day Hagrid would come to your door and inform you of your status as a mudblood, and then your true life, the life without the weight of your father's history, pain, guilt, hopelessness, helplessness, judgment, and shame, would begin. Your father asks you where you were. The library? You have to study? You tell him you do, which isn't technically a lie. All right, he says in English, because he has given up on speaking to you in Pashto. But after you finish, come back down. I have something I need to talk to you about. Hurry. When you get to your room, you lock the door and turn up MF Doom on your portable speaker to ward off mothers, fathers, grandmothers, sisters, and brothers who want to harp at you about prayer, Quran, Pashto, Farsi, a new job, new classes, exercise, basketball, jogging, talking, guests, chores, homework help, bathroom help, family time, and usually, mad villainy does the trick. Open the brown paper bag and toss the cush your cousin has stashed with your game because he needs a new smoking buddy and he sees you as a prime target, probably because he thinks you've got nothing better to do with your time, or you're not as religious as your brothers, or you're desperate to escape the unrelenting nature of a corporeal existence, and God damn, the physical map of Afghanistan that comes with the game is fucking beautiful. Not that you're a patriot or a nationalist or one of those Afghans who walk around in a pakol and kameez and play the tabla and claim that their favorite singer is Ahmad Zahir, but the fact that 1980s Afghanistan is the final setting of the most legendary and artistically significant gaming franchise in the history of time made you all the more excited to get your hands on it, especially since you've been shooting at Afghans in Call of Duty for so long that you've become oddly immune to the self-loathing you felt when you were first massacring wave after wave of militant fighters who looked just like your father. Now, finally, start the game. After escaping the hospital massacre, you and Revolver Ocelot travel to the brutal scenes of northern Kabul, its rocky cliffs, its dirt roads, and its sunlight bleeding off into the dark mountains, just the way you remember from all those years ago when you visited as a child. And although your initial mission is to locate and extract Kazuhira Miller, the Phantom Pain is the first Metal Gear to be set in an open-world environment, and you decide to postpone the rescue of Kazuhira Miller until you get some Soviet blood on your hands. Your father, you know, didn't kill a single Russian during his years as a mujahid in Logar, but there is something in the act of slaughtering these Soviet NPCs that makes you feel connected to him and his history of warfare. Thinking of your father and his small village in Logar, you head south to explore the outer limits of the open world in the Phantom Pain, crossing trails and deserts and mountain passes, occasionally stopping at a checkpoint or a military barracks to slaughter more Russians, and you find yourself, incredibly, skirting the city of Kabul, still dominated by the Soviets, and continuing on to Logar, to Muhammad Agha, and when you get to Wagh Jan, the roadside market village that abuts the Kabul-Logar highway, just the way you remember it, you hitch your horse and begin to sneak along the clay compounds and the shops, climbing walls and crawling atop roofs, and whenever a local Afghan spots you, you knock him out with a tranquilizer until you make it to the bridge that leads to the inner corridors of your parents' home village, Nawe Kale, which looks so much like the photos and your own blurred memories from the trip when you were a kid that you begin to become uneasy, not yet afraid, but as if consumed by an overwhelming sense of déjà vu. Sneaking along dirt roads, past golden fields and apple orchards and mazes of clay compounds, you come upon the house where your father used to reside, and it is there, on the road in front of your father's...